So Lucas pops in here during the break, and he starts bringing up the Kuminga run and when it stopped. It's like he kind of hit a wall, if you will. Lucas, you were kind of saying right around February 10th, which was a special night. That was the Currygasm. That was the night that they beat the Phoenix Suns 113 to 112. And since thank you, Tim. And so he hasn't quite had the same production since. And we can all think of the reasons. Is it minutes? Is it game planning? Is it Jonathan? It's probably some of all of that. But I do think this is an important question, and one that I can't wait to ask Steve on Wednesday, which is not just who's your two, but who should your two be, and how important is it that that is a defined role? My sense is that he'll answer it the same way he's answered the finishing lineup question all year. Well, might be this that night, might be that over here on this night. Kind of goes night to night. Who's got the hot hand? What? And that obviously that leaves him open to not having to define it and put names on it. But I'm not convinced that's a good thing for a basketball team. The NBA largely, and in fact, I think all sports, go back to what was so special about the Giants when they won 3 times in 5 years. I thought it was because every bullpen guy knew his role. You knew what inning. Yeah. It's like you didn't even need Boach when here he comes. And he's like, I know when I'm going in. I can tell you before the game even starts. And I think there needs to be a little bit more of that on the Warriors. I don't know whose fault it is that there isn't. I lean in the direction of the inconsistency of the players who have been trying for that role.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, Steve, I do think, has tinkered some and had some misses in terms of opportunities to put these guys in their best position. He's admitted it with Kuminga, Moody earlier in the year. I don't know, man. I don't know. The Warriors need someone who could put up 20 a night. And I don't know who that person is. And it felt like maybe it was about to be Kuminga. And then for some reason it just stopped. And it wasn't Kuminga anymore.
He's on a little bit of a slide. And you look at the last 6 games that Lucas was referencing after the Phoenix game, the Currygasm, as you like to call it. He's averaging 12.8 a game. He's shooting 45% from the floor. And these numbers are down from where they were throughout the course of the year. He's shooting 53% on the year, and he's averaging 15 a game. So points are down, shot attempts are down, and the field goal percentage is also down. So his minutes haven't really come down. He's played 27 and a half minutes over those 6 games. Yep. So it hasn't been for a lack of playing time out there. Well, just a little bit of a spot when you're in your 3rd year, and it's the first year where you are not only part of the rotation, but he's in the starting lineup now. He's started every game since December 14th that he's played. So other than a few games in the start of January, he's in a little bit of a different role now. And I think there's additional attention on him and additional pressure as well.
I do think the minutes have changed, though. It's subtle, but they have.
It's gone down a little bit.
If you go back to January 10th, this run for Jonathan Kuminga, or even go back to January 12th, 13th, right there. Let's start there. January 13th. Well, you get your list. I got mine, Lucas. Don't worry about it. You do you, brother. He's like, go to the 2nd. Well, no, I'm trying to make a different point. And it's about his minutes.
My bad.
Okay, thank you. They go to Milwaukee and they lose, 129-118. Jonathan has 30 minutes and scores 28 points. Next game, 20 points, 25 points, 31 points, 22 points, 26 points, 29 points. You get it. He doesn't do much on the night in the Hawks when Steph scores 60. But the minutes from that moment in Milwaukee, 30 minutes, he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games where he never has less than 29 minutes in a game. That was the low, 29 minutes. And then suddenly in Utah, a couple of Mondays ago, 27. He gets a bunch against the Clippers, but then it's 24, 24, 28, 25. Suddenly now he can't even get to 29 minutes. He's only gotten to 29 minutes one time in the last 6 games. As to where for a month and a half, he never was below that number. So it's not a lot, but there is a dip there, which I wonder, it's less about that 4 minutes that he's not playing. And to me, it's more about kind of the focus of the offense. The shot attempts have gone way down. And I do wonder, this is another question for Steve, how strategic is that? How much a part of the plan is that? Or is it something organic?
I think that it's organic. And you look at that run where Utah, last game before the break, it was the third game in 4 nights. And also you have to remember that GP2 came back during that stretch where his minutes ticked down a little bit.
Sure.
So GP2 is going to get some of those minutes. And, you're getting to the end of the first half and you've got a player in his third year. And, he's probably getting a little bit tired, even though he's only 21 years old. Guys aren't just going to play 30 plus each and every night, especially a younger player like that. I do think it's something to look at going forward, especially on this road trip now where, you're going to have, again, a bunch of games grouped together. How is Steve going to allocate the minutes? And I know Chris Paul and he don't play the same position, but Chris Paul is going to come back and he'll probably play 16 to 18 minutes tomorrow night with a slow increase in those minutes. And those minutes have to come from somebody.
Yeah. It's just odd. I wonder how much of it has to do with whatever they were seeing, because if you do go all the way back to the beginning of January, in that month,
like Lucas wanted you to,
the Warriors played terrible. So it's like, great. I'm glad he was getting a bunch of minutes and points. They were losing almost every night. And then in February, he's still getting heavy minutes, but they start winning. And then all of a sudden they continue to win, but something happens on Monday the 12th, and the last 6 games, he goes down 5 minutes per game, he goes down 4 shots per game, and he goes down 8 points per game. And if you're looking for that number 2 who can give you 20 a night, Jonathan was doing it, but something wasn't satisfying to the Warriors in that process, and I would love to know what it is, because that's what they need. And they were getting it. And then they stopped going to it as much.
Right. They were getting it, but they also were losing games. And you mentioned all that run. You lose to Milwaukee, he's got 28. You lose to Memphis, he's got 20. You lose to Sacramento, he's got 31. You lose to the Lakers, he's got 22. So is him scoring 20 or more portending you to get victories, or is that a problem for your overall efficiency?
Yeah, I wonder what everyone thinks with Kuminga. Should it be more? Should it be less?